At some point in your life, you were taught to care too deeply, to feel too much, to take everything personally. That was your first mistake. Every heartbreak, every betrayal, every wound that ever tore through you began with that weakness. You let the outside world invade your inner world. Machiavelli never made that error. He stood at a distance, dissecting human nature like a surgeon studies disease, not with emotion, but with precision. He understood something the fragile never grasp. Peace is not achieved through sensitivity, but through its destruction. To reach it, you must train yourself to be immune to love, to hate, to flattery, to shame. No one can hurt you once you become untouchable on an emotional level. No one can control you when you no longer respond to what they expect you to feel. No one can defeat you when your heart is unreachable and your mind is the only God you serve. This is not coldness, it is freedom. You want to be untouchable. You want a life where betrayal, insults, and loss cannot shake you. But first, you must break the illusion that makes you weak, the belief that you matter to others. Most people wander through life with a tragic misunderstanding that kindness, honesty, and loyalty will be mirrored back. That emotional openness will be met with the same sincerity. Machiavelli knew a darker truth. People rarely act out of love, only out of self-interest. Your value to them is conditional. You matter only as long as you provide something they desire. The moment that benefit fades, so does their loyalty. This is not cruelty, it is the nature of power. Once you accept this, you begin to free yourself from the slavery of emotion. People suffer because they believe their pain matters to others. They take betrayal as something personal. They spiral over disrespect. Yet most of these actions have little to do with them. They are about what others seek to gain. Machiavelli would remind you that most of what people do to you is not personal. It is strategic. When someone insults you, it is often to elevate themselves. When they ignore you, it is to make you chase them. When they lie, it is because the truth does not serve their goals. And when you react with anger, pain, or outrage, you give them power. They see your weakness. They learn how to reach you. That is how control works. If you want to be immune to manipulation, stop giving others access to your inner world. Stop taking everything personally. Stop expecting fairness. Stop assuming people act from conscience. Begin to observe. Begin to calculate. Ask yourself what this person gains by treating you this way. Ask what role you play in their plan. The shift from emotion to strategy is the first step toward power. To become truly untouchable, you must remove the behaviors that make you vulnerable. Do not over-explain. People do not care about your reasons. They care about your results. Do not seek empathy. Most will endure your pain only until they can use it against you. Do not share your doubts, your wounds, or your guilt. These are not truths to reveal, but tools that others can twist. Machiavelli would tell you to guard your inner world like a fortress. Speak less, show less, become unreadable. The less people see of you, the fewer chances they have to strike. This world does not reward emotional depth. It rewards emotional discipline. Most people are slaves to emotion. They rise and fall depending on attention, praise, or rejection. But you must build your value on something untouchable. When you no longer need validation, when praise does not inflate you, and criticism does not break you, you become something rare, something dangerous. That is the moment you step into true freedom. You are not cold, you are composed, you are not numb, you are aware. And within that awareness lies the ultimate power, indifference. Indifference is not carelessness, it is control. It is the ability to choose what deserves your reaction. It is the ability to walk away from anything that weakens you. It is the strength to say, "You cannot affect me anymore." Machiavelli once said, "It is better to be feared than loved." Yet, greater than fear or love is this: to fear nothing and expect nothing from anyone. That is how you become immune. That is how you make the world go silent. That is how no one and nothing can touch you again. If you truly want to become untouchable, you must eradicate the second root of vulnerability: your emotions. Most people are driven by feeling. They pretend to be rational. They claim strength, yet a single insult can break them. They say they are confident, but a rejection can shatter their sense of self. That happens because they do not control themselves. Their emotions hold the reins. Machiavelli understood that anyone who seeks power cannot allow feelings to rule. Emotions are weakness. Emotions expose you. Emotions are the gap through which your enemies enter. If someone can provoke your anger, they own your response. If someone can trigger your sorrow, they govern your mind. If someone can manipulate your guilt, they steer your choices. You are not free when others can pull a reaction out of you. Freedom requires emotional discipline, not death of feeling, but intention. Use emotion as an instrument, not as a shackle. If charm advances your plans, deploy it. If silence terrifies an opponent, keep silent. If controlled anger creates fear where it helps, wield it. But never allow feelings to erupt beyond your command. Never let anyone see what truly moves you, because the moment they do, they will exploit it. The world is not kind to openness. It rewards composure, mystery, and self-mastery. The person who broadcasts every ache will always be manipulated by those who feel nothing. Learn to sit with discomfort without reacting. Learn to hear insults without defending. Learn to endure pain without confession. Most people seek a listener when they hurt, a shoulder to unload their burden. That habit is vulnerability disguised as honesty. If you want strength, carry the pain yourself. Repair the chaos alone. Sit in silence and rebuild your mind privately. There is no honor in public fragility. There is only danger. Because the more you reveal, the more you become a target. Guard your inner world like a fortress. Speak sparingly. Display less. Become unreadable. The less of you that others can see, the fewer openings they have to attack. Machiavelli would tell you to be like a fox among wolves. Smile when it serves a plan. Laugh when it unsettles them. Never trust anyone with the map of your interior life. Keep your true feelings behind a mask. Let the world see only what you choose to show. You do not owe anyone the unvarnished truth of your emotions. Most people do not care, and those who pretend to care will use the information when it benefits them. Do not seek emotional safety from others. Become your own sanctuary. Validate your feelings, then contain them until they serve your objectives. Self-control is a weapon. The less you react, the more others fear you. The more you remain silent, the more you appear powerful. There is power in unpredictability. When others can predict your response, they can prepare a counter. When you are unreadable, calm when anger would be expected, silent when they expect an outburst, smiling when they expect sorrow, you seize psychological dominance. You become an enigma they cannot decode. In that confusion, they lose their edge. The key is training yourself. Emotional detachment is not innate. It is forged through repetition and relentless discipline. Start by watching what triggers you. Who gets under your skin? Which words pull a reaction from you? What situations leave you exposed? Now break those patterns. Interrupt the loop. When someone insults you, refuse to answer. When someone disrespects you, let their words fall into emptiness. When someone abandons you, do not chase. Learn the power of saying nothing. Learn the power of doing nothing. Let your silence roar. Silence is not weakness. Silence is control. Silence makes others curious. It rewrites the balance of power. The less you disclose, the more they guess. The less you reveal, the more they fear. Machiavelli taught that a wise man must appear merciful, loyal, and kind, while being ready to be the opposite when necessity demands. That is emotional mastery. Perform what benefits you and conceal what does not. Control is everything, and you cannot control the world until you control yourself. To be immune to the world, Master the environment you inhabit. That requires seeing people for who they are, not who they pretend to be. Most walk through life blind to masks. They take words at face value. They read politeness as loyalty, flattery as respect, and emotion as truth. Machiavelli saw differently. He knew people are driven by ambition, fear, greed, or desperation. Even smiles and compliments are calculations. Every person you meet has motives. Friends, allies, partners, even the kindest strangers. The mistake of the weak is believing statements like, "He would not do that to me," or "She is different." The moment someone holds power over you, whether emotional, financial, or social, their true self emerges. That is why trust is dangerous. Betrayal is not rare. It is predictable. If you are shocked when someone turns away, you never really understood them. A Machiavellian mind expects betrayal. It plans for it and sometimes exploits it. Stop judging people by what they say and start mapping what they avoid. Do not ask, "What are they saying?" Ask, "What are they not saying?" Do not ask, "Do they like me?" Ask, "What do they want from me?" Every compliment hides a need. Every promise conceals a contingency. When you force your thinking into this framework, disappointment fades, surprise vanishes, naivety dies. This is not paranoia. It is acuity. Become the silent listener. Observe from a distance. Most truths are never announced aloud. People reveal themselves in micro moments, how they speak of others, how they treat the powerless, the hints of jealousy they fail to hide. When you succeed, listen for the subtext. Learn to spot emotional levers. When someone says, "I care," ask yourself, what do they gain by caring? When they promise, "I will never leave," ask, what will change when staying becomes inconvenient? This is not pessimism, it is clarity. The world will try to shame you for thinking this way. They will label you cold, distrustful, bitter. Let them talk. They fear only what they cannot deceive. A clear mind cannot be manipulated, and that terrifies those who profit from chaos. Living like a Machiavellian is not rejecting human connection, it is commanding it. Choose who earns your attention. Decide who may enter your circle and who receives nothing. You do not owe anyone your trust. Trust must be earned slowly, and it can be revoked in an instant. Set traps with silence. Test loyalty. Do not give away anything you cannot afford to lose. Remember this. The person who knows less will lose in every room. Know more than you say. Say less than you think. Let others underestimate you, because underestimation breeds carelessness. Let them believe you weak, because that belief becomes your leverage. Never reveal all your cards. Never explain your strategy. Make your life hard to read and your thinking harder to predict. That is how you survive among liars, users, and cowards. You become unreadable. You become untouchable. In Machiavelli's world, the prince who trusts too easily falls first. The observer who hides in shadow, the player who never shows his hand, that is the one who endures. Want peace? Ignore the surface. Want power? Study motives. Want invulnerability? Learn to foresee betrayal before it happens. The one who sees what is coming never bleeds. That is who you must become. To reach the last stage of invulnerability, confront the most dangerous weakness: emotional dependency. Most people do not know how much they lean on others to shape their identity. They anchor their worth in how they are seen, in how they are treated, in attention or affection. When those props vanish, they collapse. Panic follows. They chase. They beg. This is not love. It is addiction. Machiavelli would say the person dependent on others' feelings will always be their slave. He will betray himself to keep approval. He will trade reason for applause. He will surrender his power for the illusion of belonging. You must break that addiction. Become independent of anyone's emotions, whether love, time, or praise. Build yourself so you remain whole amid a crowd, and whole in solitude, because solitude will come. People will leave, people will change, people will forget. When they do, your strength must remain intact. That strength must be internal, an impregnable source. It is not easy. It demands brutal honesty. Ask yourself, who am I without recognition? Who am I when no one is watching? Most people flee that question. That is why they chase distractions, relationships, notice, compliments. Machiavelli would advise the opposite. Withdraw inward. Make your mind a kingdom, your thoughts a fortress, your standards a compass. When you stop outsourcing meaning, you gain freedom. No one can take what you never authorized them to hold. This does not mean becoming a recluse. It means your identity is not negotiable. You do not need someone to love you to feel worthy. You do not need applause to believe you deserve it. You do not need a companion to survive the silence. Most people fear silence because it exposes the fragility of their inner foundation. They crave noise to distract themselves from emptiness. But silence is your test. If you can sit alone for hours with your thoughts without panic, without reaching for anyone, without falling apart, you are becoming something formidable. You are becoming steady, unshakable, sovereign. This is the essence of Machiavellian power, needing nothing, owing nothing, and feeling nothing that can be used against you. Build discipline, build habits. Build a life so complete that others become a bonus, never a necessity. Do not hand your happiness to anyone. Do not rely on another person to make you feel whole. If someone offers love, accept it, but do not depend on it. If someone praises you, acknowledge it, but do not chase it. The moment you need something from someone, the game is over. You have surrendered control. Others can smell desperation. They will exploit it. They will own you through it. But when you no longer need their approval, affection, or presence, you become untouchable. You become the one they seek to impress. You become the one they pursue, because the person who needs nothing holds all the power. Machiavelli would say, always appear to be what others desire, but never let them know what you truly need. Better yet, need nothing at all. Remove the lies that keep you dependent. Eliminate the habits that make you emotionally fragile. Learn to walk alone, not because you reject others, but because you no longer collapse without them. This is your strength. When your identity is forged in solitude and your peace is built on your own foundation, you become immune. They can come and go, love you or despise you, betray or forget you. It does not matter, because you never belonged to them to begin with. Now you understand what it takes not only to survive, but to become invincible, to move through this world untouched by its noise, immune to betrayal, indifferent to praise, and unreadable to anyone who seeks to control you. What you are building is not just strength, it is sovereignty. You are no longer one of the crowd begging to be seen, chasing approval, fearing rejection. You have become something else entirely, something rare, a quiet force, a presence that cannot be manipulated, broken, or moved. And that power is not achieved through aggression or arrogance, but through control over your thoughts, your reactions, and your desires. In a world ruled by emotion, the one who masters himself masters everything. Machiavelli did not write for the moral, he wrote for the victorious. And to win in this world, you cannot play by the rules written for sheep. You must see reality as it is, cold, strategic, and unforgiving. You must stop expecting kindness from the world and start using its cruelty as fuel. You do not need to shout. You do not need to threaten. You do not need to explain yourself. The strongest person in the room is the one who stays silent, because he has nothing to prove. He already knows. He has already seen. The victory exists first in his mind. Let others race blindly through chaos, chasing validation and attention. Let them drown in emotion. You remain still. Watch, evaluate, act only when it matters. And when you act, do it with precision, purpose, and quiet finality. A king does not argue. A king does not react. A king decides. A king commands. That is who you become when nothing can reach you anymore. Understand this. Being untouchable does not mean you feel nothing. It means you decide what is worthy of your feelings and what deserves silence. It means your mood is not controlled by people who do not matter. It means your choices are not shaped by fear, guilt, or desire. It means your peace is not a gift someone can give or take. It is a throne you built with your own hands. There will be those who try to pull you back into weakness. They will say you have changed, that you are distant, cold, selfish. Let them speak. Let them leave. Let them choke on expectations you never agreed to carry. You owe no one your vulnerability. You owe no one your peace. Your life is not a service meant to please others. It is a battlefield, and now you are trained for war. Every insult you ignore. Every betrayal you predict. Every loss you endure in silence. You are untouchable because you chose to be. Through discipline, through rejection of emotional slavery, through ruthless honesty with yourself, you destroyed your weakness before the world could use it against you. That is true freedom. Machiavelli once said, "It is better to be feared than loved." But his real meaning was this: it is better to be in control than to be anything else. Control is the root of all power, and now you have it. You are no longer the one who breaks at the first sign of chaos. You are the one who walks into it, calm, steady, certain. You are not moved by the storm. You are the storm. Nothing and no one can touch you anymore.